What do you say, guys? This is Raymond Ironbody-McKinney. Today I'm going to show you a model of when it comes to deliberate manifesting and my way of sharing when it comes to involving things like electrons, the center of gravity, the electrons that make up the atom, magnetic field, the space-time continuum curving around, the presence of mass. And so here's how I'm going to explain it. So as you can see here, within that dot there in the middle, right there, as you can see, right there, that's a dot right there. That's the center of gravity. And you can see that the electron, it's a spiraling effect, that the electrons are spiraling around the center of gravity, the sucking effect of the center of gravity within the focal point right here. And as you can see, each electron that's aligned against each other, they're moving opposite directions, like as if gear shifts. When they're lined up together, they move in opposite directions. When two gears are side by side, when two gear shifts are side by side, they go in opposite directions due to friction. Friction produces electricity. And electricity, you can see here that the electrons just start infinitely expand. They're infinitely expanding within this focal point. And the electrons orbit, are in constitute orbit around the body of mass, which contains gravity. They're in constitute orbit because of the magnetic field within the body of mass. This whole body of mass right here, that's the atom. That's the atom. And everything in the entire universe is made up of atoms, including our bodies, everything. Everything has a center of gravity. Electrons that make up the atom of the universe, they're side by side to each other. And within each electron, there are infinite electrons within electrons, infinite universes within universes. And when you look at that point there, when the magnetic field becomes amplified through a focus, when this focus becomes amplified, when this focus is increased dimensionally, the magnetic field becomes amplified, therefore allowing the electrons to gravitate in the direction of the deeply focused, the deep focus. The greater the focus, the electrons become more potent to the gravitational pull, or the intensified center of gravity. The center of gravity becomes intensified, and the electrons move or are directed in the direction of the enlarged focal point. So think of it like this too. When you're in meditation, when you go so deep into that focal point, when you go into that focal point right there, it's infinitely expanding. When you go deeper within, when you narrow your focus, it's actually expanding outward, infinitely expanding. That the universe is infinitely expanding. That you are infinitely piercing through the atom through focus. When you narrow your focus so deep, when you go so deep into focus by directing your electrically charged thought patterns, sending electrical signals to your brain, and your brain transmits those electrical signals to the neurons of your heart, broadcasting to the field, that you're constantly receiving information from the magnetic field of information. You're constantly receiving information from the field moment by moment, the field of information or energy moment by moment. Through hearing, sight, tasting, touching, smelling. And by being able to control your focus, you have the ability to have control over your reality. And you notice this here too, guys. This looks like an eye. I think of it as like an eye. For example, like if you're in the bathroom, you have the lights turned off, the pupil becomes enlarged. And when the lights turn back on, the pupil gets smaller. The center of gravity is enlarged. As the center of gravity is enlarged, the electrons that make up the atom, the spiraling electrons that make up the atom, are compelled to move in the direction of the intensified gravity within this body of mass. And as a magnetic field within the body of mass is amplified, within that body mass right there, center of gravity, as the magnetic field is amplified, the electrons gravitate in the direction of the amplified magnetic field, directed by the focal point. So when I talk about this, how does this relate to manifesting, guys? It's simply through your focus. When I say something up here too, your focused thoughts gravitate, your electrically charged focused thoughts, or self-narrative, gravitate in the direction of the magnetic field within and around your body mass. The deeper your dimensionally larger focus, the magnetic field amplifies proportionally. And electrons in around and within your body mass gravitate in the direction of your amplified magnetic field of energy. So it's basically, guys, you're constantly receiving information from the field moment by moment within yourself. You are the field. You're receiving information from yourself moment by moment, consciously or unconsciously, which directs your physical. And as the gravity is intensified, the space-time continuum curves around that focal point, collapses the wave function in the particle form into manifested form. When your focus is enlarged, the greater your inner focus, that's when you can be able to manifest objects, manifest objective experiences more easily, proportionally. Manifestation, all the objective reality responds to your directed focus, guys. Everything's already conforming around you. All these, when I think of these electrons here, guys, these spiral electrons, these are potential possibilities within your life, eternal life, that you contain eternal omnipresent life here and now. That you contain all space-time, the space-time continuum. You contain the center of gravity. And you are the magnetic field, the subconscious magnetic field within you. And when you direct your electrically charged focused thoughts, that's when you can be able to amplify the magnetic field in your favor, allowing the electrons to gravitate in the direction of your amplified magnetic field. The electrons are constantly revealing themselves to you guys. It's a matter of what do you dominantly focus on. What you dominantly focus on is what amplifies that magnetic field, revealing that reality relative to you. That there are infinite realities within yourself. There are infinite states of consciousness within yourself. There are infinitely many realities that already exist. You're not changing the universe, guys. You're simply getting one of infinitely many viewpoints of what already exists through your dimensionally larger focus. And when I talk about this dot right here, when you enlarge it, that's accessing enlarge. It contains infinite dimensions. When you go so deeply, it goes basically dimensions within that focal point right there. That's when you can be able to access other worlds within this world here and now, without moving through any physical space or time. Everything's already contained within you guys. Objective reality is a reproduction of your subconscious memories or images. They're constantly reproducing themselves. And forever expanding through you, through this body of mass containing the center of gravity. And that electrons do not touch each other. The electrons that make up the atom, they do not touch each other. They do not physically touch each other. They repel each other due to friction between them. That's why they spiral in different directions next to each other. And yet the magnetic field keeps them in constituted orbit around the center of gravity. And that's what keeps the electrons conforming to the within and around the body mass, including your body of energy, guys. Your body of mass of energy. That's your focus. That's your focused thoughts live by in secret, habitually or frequently produce objective reality relative to you. And you're not going against anyone's free will, guys. This is the truth that sets you free. When you know that you harness this power within yourself. Nothing's outside of you, guys. Nothing comes to you. Everything's forever expressed through you and spirals around you and within you. Everything is contained within you, guys. You're whole, complete, and perfect. And objective reality is made in your own image. Life is how you imagine it to be. Life is how you view it to be. Directed by your self-narrative. Your self-narrative reveals objective reality relative to you. So guys, I hope this video helps. This model helps you a ton. When you think about it, it kind of looks like a wheel. Or I think of it kind of like a whirlpool. It's infinitely sucking in. It's an infinite whirlpool. When you go in, it's just infinite. It's infinite. We live in a finite yet unbounded universe. That infinity is within you guys. The kingdom of heaven is within your center of gravity. That everything mirrors your self-narrative. Objective reality is made in your own image. Objective reality mirrors your self-narrative accordingly. That's where you start. Your deeply inner focused thoughts, prayers, self-narrative, electrically charged thoughts. You start here. It's within you guys. And when you amplify the magnetic field within you through your electrically charged thoughts, that's when you gravitate toward in the direction of the amplified magnetic field within yourself. Everywhere you go, guys, there you are. You are forever exploring. You are in a hall of atomically arranged mirrors, parallel to one another. They never physically touch because atoms never touch due to friction between themselves. They're constantly spiraling around each other. Yet, universes within universes, infinite realities within realities within you. You contain the infinitude of eternal life, guys. Life is forever expanding itself through you. You are life itself, forever expressing through itself moment by moment. You contain the beginning and the end, and yet there is no beginning and no ending to life itself. Life is eternal. Life is literally in your hands here and now. You have access to it here and now. And that's through your focus. Simply awakening that state within you, and then it objectifies relative to you. So guys, this is maybe a little bit of a longer video, but I find it a very important video. Just kind of give you a visual. And I really hope this video helps, guys, and this model helps when it comes to deliberate manifesting. And what would the Ironbody do? I am the Ironbody, and I've always been master at manifesting. Life is rigged in my favor. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? So I bless y'all and happy manifesting.